Whoa, what the heck? Can anyone hear me? Hello. How's everybody doing? So yeah, I kind of just started this out of nowhere. Because I just I miss talking to my friends, and I thought maybe why not just bring Casey and Cody on, and we just talk like old times. What's up, Casey? Hello again.
Hey.
Long time no talk. Like 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I was working on this. This is something I'm working on because of what you shared with me.
yeah.
Thank you for finding it. Another thing I was thinking about with this too, because you know how you pointed out the Uranus thing. I thought that was interesting too. How because Uranus is the father of Saturn, right?
Yes, yes, right. It's also in some by some accounts, Uranus is also the father of Aphrodite or Venus. Venus,
Oh, interesting.
and I think what's there's a correlation too in astronomy because Venus and Uranus are the only planets that spin backwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so even though it's kind of hard to understand in a way because Uranus spins on its side, but still it's considered to have a for whatever reason it's considered to have a backwards rotation as well.
Hmm. Wait, so Uranus and Venus?
Yes. Mhm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Did wait, so yesterday was the conjunction, right? Sirius and or was I get my days mixed up?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yesterday was the new moon um, Sirius conjunction, so you had a conjunction of the sun, the moon, and Sirius. And actually, if you're subscribed to Rambo, he dropped a couple of posts about that conjunction. That's something that he's covered, in the past, and, and how it coincides with America's founding date.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's wait, rises in Sirius, the brightest star in Earth's night sky, rises in conjunction with the sun between July 3rd and August 11th. And so right, wait, so it's till the 11th? 11? Hello?
Oh, my bad. Well, the conjunction is perfected on the fifth this year. Usually it's on the sixth, but you'll um you'll see it start to rise like well in our part of like in my part of the world, like where I am around the first week of August, you'll see the Sirius rising. But
Hmm.
so I mean it will continue to be relatively close to the sun. Yeah.
Yeah, what was the thing that you found with wait, was it Leonardo DiCaprio and 595?
Oh yeah. Recently, he turned 595 months old. It lined up. I think it lined up with the Hawk Tuah girl. That incident that happened on the 11th of June. I'm pretty sure. So
Oh,
you,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So if you go from his birthday to that Hawk Tuah incident,
Oh, yeah.
it's 595 months, and it's interesting because in the movie Titanic, I've actually seen a reel that they dubbed the Hawk Tuah girl over Rose when she spits in that guy's face in the movie Titanic,
Oh,
and then the Hawk Tuah girls from Belfast, Tennessee, and the Titanic was built in Belfast, Northern Ireland. So it's like there seems to be a like a coded what Cody's work was great, the with the Horus and the phallus and the obelisk and all that. That was good stuff. I think 7-1 he was had similar thoughts when in regards to the Haktua stuff.
oh yeah. I couldn't believe that that's an Indonesian word.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
But yeah, again, I guess to reiterate, it was also funny how that was on the June 11th um because again that was the day that I had the synchronicity with my work. Oh, hi Sylvia, how you doing? Because it was the girl, it was her baby shower, and I was like, it was a surprise baby shower, and it was that day. The baby shower was that day, and it was gonna start at I think like 10:30, and she was helping me organize my emails, and I forgot that I got the invitation on Friday. So she was kind of showing me how to like how she how she does it. So she was going through my emails, and I was like, she was on my chair, and I was behind her, and then she opened up the email saying like the invitation to her surprise baby shower, and I was just like, "Oh my god, are you kidding me?" And I was thinking about how that was connecting to all the stuff Cody was finding with Bray Wyatt, and like, can you keep a secret? And it showed like on Bray Wyatt's videos, he was showing that day, the June 11, like 6/11, and that was the exact day when that happened. And I was thinking about how that relates to this story because we're talking about like the whole spitting thing, and that's kind of like something with not being able to keep a secret, because it's like, or it's like if you're trying to keep a secret and then someone tries to get you to say it, they're like, "Oh, spit it out," you know?
Yeah, that's a good thought too. I think 611. I like 611 because Uranus has got that 611 gematria in the Latin cipher,
Hmm.
and that's also Rambo's birthday.
All right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that was another thing too that was really interesting with my company, because the guy who his last
Oops.
wait, can you can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I got you. Hey, is Cody coming on?
He said he was. I mean,
Okay. I was just curious.
um, but yeah, my manager, his last day was yesterday, but he um so the whole thing about, because he just went to Boeing, and you know how that connects to like what you told me about the 611 and the FAA, like 611.
Ooh.
Oh wow. Eric C said he's driving behind a license plate that has 611 right now. That's funny. Um oh yeah, so the the manager, the person who hired me, he was I only got hired on June 3rd, and then he already, I guess he was already planning to leave, but it was like a secret. He was like keep I guess he was keeping it a secret for a while, but he was um in the process of interviewing for Boeing. And I think I wish I could remember, but I think that was the day that he informed me that he was moving, or that he was leaving 611. So it was really interesting. And then his last day was yesterday, which was the new moon. And then the girl who trained me, her due date was 7/5, but I don't know if she actually gave birth. I don't think she did, but it was just interesting how they both had um that new moon connection. Hey Shane, how you doing, man? Casey, you are muted. I don't know if you're trying to talk or if you're purposely muted. How's everyone doing today? We're just kind of chilling. Um, well, I guess maybe Casey's a little busy right now. So this is something I'm working on. And Shane, if you are still there, it has to do with something Casey informed me of recently, which is crazy because I've been talking about my dad's death a lot, and so my dad, he died 12,012 weeks. Trying to fix my camera. Yeah, my dad died 12,012 weeks after the actual Revelation 12 sign that you discovered. Hopefully you're still there. And yeah, so this is what Casey told me about this. I didn't even know him. But Casey, I don't know if you are trying to be muted, but you're still muted. And then this is equal to this 8484. So it was making me think about time, father time. My dad was a Capricorn, and yeah, the whole father connection, father time. Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, and also interesting that um the death tarot card totally associated with, or just they're connected because of the whole Grim Reaper theme. And then the 84 is really interesting to me because the death card is um ruled by Pluto, and Pluto equals 84. And again, this is my dad's death, so death card. So I was thinking about that a lot. And in case you were just going over how Uranus is the father of Saturn, so another father son connection. Just some interesting things went over, and it was just crazy because it had to do with this day like synced up with me and my dad, because this day on June 24th I was okay. Cody, no worries. Yeah, so on this day, June 24th, I turned the same amount of weeks, the same age that my dad was when I was born. Exact same. 1707 weeks.
Hey, brother.
Oh, you're back?
I had to help a customer there. What is that? She manages these apartments, and she had some questions about the bot the boxes. And anyways, sorry about that.
Good. Okay, where I was, are you good, or are you busy?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay. So yeah, I was just going over this while you were helping her out. But
Okay.
what were
Yeah,
you
yeah. Don't let me slow you down. You can go ahead and talk about what we were talking about.
yeah, I think Cody said he can come on in a little bit. Um
All right. Yeah.
Thank you, Fig. Really, that means a lot. Um, well, I was kind of want to go back to this though, because I was wondering if you had any idea, and if anything came to your mind with like her connection with Shaq, because I know that Shaq has he's been connected, or he's just been a big part of this for some reason.
A big part of what?
Like the Hawk Tuah girl.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Oh, actually, I could think of something. Are you still there? Still there? Maybe he's helping someone out again. Let's see. What are some people saying? Tua, hot in French. Hi. That's interesting. Let me see. Um, English or French to English. Like that. That is pretty interesting because kind of makes me think of Ephesians 5:11. Or 6:12, sorry. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. So there could be something there. Kind of interesting. And then that kind of ties into what Cody was sharing about. If you haven't seen this video, please go watch it. I have to direct you guys to this video that Cody made about it. Oh, it was right there. So yeah, that's actually really there might be really something to that. But yeah, this video, amazing video. Oh. Hey Casey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh yeah. So did she go on his podcast? How did that work
I
with
don't.
Shaq and the Hot Tour girl?
I'm not even sure. Let me see.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Anyways,
I guess so.
you know how like I connect with Happy Gilmore to the Super Bowl because it's the 701 and all that.
Yeah.
Because it's he's in his apartment 701 and Adam Sandler's turning 701 months old on the day of the Super Bowl. So then I also talk about Hoobie Halloween because there's all these 59s in that movie. Like Ray Liotta, he's got his ticket number is 59 in the deli at the deli, and then Steve Buscemi's character is in house number 59, and that next year's Super Bowl will be Super Bowl 59. Well, Shaq actually has a part in that movie. He's a radio DJ in
Oh,
Hoobie
really?
Halloween. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So,
Wow.
yeah, that's funny. But
Yeah, I was. Wait, did you know? Have Did you know that he's like like a real DJ, like in real life?
yeah, he does. Like what is it, Skrillex or stuff like that, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. Like
Yeah.
dubstep. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, I've seen. He did like he did like a documentary or something about that, I think.
Hmm. But so something that I was thinking about was that Irish connection you were mentioning,
Oh, because of her last name.
or the O'Neill, his last name, Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, well, I actually wasn't thinking about that, but yeah, that makes sense though, O'Neill. But that Haley, the Hot Tour girl, her last name's Welch, which
Oh yeah,
is the same thing as Welsh, and that's also a Celtic name.
yeah, and then Rambo, he just made that video about the Giants, right? The Giants and the Irish connection.
Yeah, the Gaelic and Celtic theme.
Yeah, and like I mean, look, Shaq is like 100%
He's a
definitely.
giant.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, that's interesting. That definitely I think that really validates what Rambo was
yeah.
sharing in that video, and also with the Bill Walton
Hey,
looking like a.
we were talking about the fours and everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you
You want to
wanna,
run over that real quick?
yeah, for sure. Wait, so
Okay.
what? Okay, what's Beyonce's birthday?
September 4th, 1981.
Okay, so her birthday she has the same birthday as Los Angeles, because isn't that the same birth? Isn't LA's birthday the 9/4?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know that. It could be.
Just double checking.
You know something I noticed. We brought up that hurricane house. It's about to hit Texas, right?
Yeah.
Well, the its name's Beryl, Beryl. So it has the Bey, like how she goes by, or the first three letters of her name, Bey, and she goes by Queen Bee, and she spells it. She uses the first three letters of her name, Bey. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, but as far as the fours, she was born on the fourth. Her husband Jay-Z was born on the 4th of December. They got married on the 4th, April 4th, 2008, which was the 40th anniversary of the MLK assassination. She was born 444 days after Venus Williams, and I think Beyonce is important to Venus. You don't really, you can. It's kind of in her birthday because of the 4/9, right? The 7x7
Yeah.
being a 4/9, but also it's because Venus is on her perfectly on her ascendant on her birth chart. So I think that's important.
Yeah,
Um,
that's crazy.
but again with the fours, Jupiter is the fourth Sephira on the Tree of Life, and the original logo for the Paris Olympics was that Jupiter glyph. It looks like the number four, and they conceived their first kid, Blue Ivy, in Paris, France. So I definitely think there's like a something with her in the Olympics, and just the fact that Beyonce is she got that name on her mom's side. It's either her maiden name or her grandmother's maiden name, and it's a French name. So yeah, I know there's a couple other fours like Blue Ivy. She was born on.
Oh, what the heck? Wait a minute. What happened? You still there? Still there, Casey?
What about now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah, I'm in and out because my phone is getting hot.
Oh
So
shoot.
another thing about that, I was telling you about the Little Rock Nine. You know about the black children going to school after after desegregation, the Brown versus Board.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
wait, so it was a famous picture, right?
yeah. There's a famous picture. If you look up Little Rock Nine, there's a Wikipedia page, and there's this picture of this black girl walking into school, and
How
she's
do you
getting yelled at.
how do you spell it?
Little Rock
Oh, Little Rock.
Nine. Yeah, Little Rock Nine. So it's usually dated. I don't know if you can see it.
Is it? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
right here.
before. And actually, that girl that you see in the picture, she was born on the 4th of October, and
Oh, really?
yeah, she was born on the 4th.
Wow.
It's interesting, man. Yeah, I think I mentioned this too. Like Venus has that 1035 gematria in the Latin cipher,
Yeah.
and so does civil rights. Civil rights. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
What else? I was looking into last night that I thought was fascinating is the second song on her album, Cowboy Carter, is Blackbird, and that was a song that was written by Paul McCartney and John Lennon. And I didn't know this, but apparently it was inspired by the civil rights movement in the Southeast.
Oh, really?
And in England, they call what what they call a slang term for girls in England is bird. So black bird is like another way of saying black girl. Yeah,
Oh, really? Wow. Dang, that's really
yeah.
good.
And it's
Dang.
crazy. It's crazy too, man, because that song was before Beyonce came out with that song on her album. It was repopularized by the movie Boss Baby, and the main character in that film is voiced by Alec Baldwin, and
Mm-hmm.
he was involved in the Rush shooting, and that was like connected to the Crow, right? So the Crow is a blackbird,
God, dude. Dude.
and
Oh my God,
yeah,
that's so
and,
good.
and come to find out, he's that they're going to trial for that starting on the 9th of this month.
Oh
They're
my
supposed to,
God.
yeah.
Wow,
So
dude.
yeah,
You.
it's crazy how stuff. You know what else I was telling Rambo about? Rambo, this is something Rambo has talked about a lot. Is how the god Odin, one of his symbols is the two ravens.
Oh, right, right, yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at that song, there's a woman named Tiara Kennedy that's credited on that song. She's kind of a up and coming singer, I guess, but um, Robert Kennedy recently came out with a video talking about two ravens that live near his property that he's been feeding. So
Oh, oh, wait, that's right. I think I
did you
have
see
heard
that
about that.
video? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. All right. Uh, Ravens?
yeah,
Is this it? Can,
yeah. But
yeah,
there's
yeah.
also
Basically, yeah. Dude,
I
that's
didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know
dude.
the New York Times wrote about it.
Dude,
So
that is.
it makes you wonder, man. Like I know, like Kamala could potentially be the candidate, like if Biden steps down, but would it be like
Oh no, I think you broke up again. Yeah, maybe your phone's getting hot again. I want to bring up what Seven mentioned. Beryl is the color of Ezekiel's will. That's interesting. Let's check that out. Oh yeah, wow. the appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a barrel. Oh, and they had there's the okay, there's that the four that Casey's been pointing out with these like four connections. Interesting. Gotta look more into that. Oh, and that's interesting too. I'm kind of thinking about how Casey was also just bringing up the connections with Beyonce and Jupiter, and now it's making me think about the Wheel of Fortune tarot card. Ah, it's so small. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune tarot card, and the Wheel of Fortune tarot card is ruled by Jupiter. Wheel of Fortune, ruling planet, Jupiter. Yeah, I think there's definitely something to that. So thank you for pointing that out. What else are some people saying? Is there a link with Mary Magdalene and the Order of the Blue Rose? Hey Casey.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, I just thought of something kind of interesting. So Seven, he pointed out how the that barrel's the color of Ezekiel's wheel, and then so you can see here the appearance of the wheels. The work was like unto the color of a barrel, and
Yeah.
then I was thinking about the Jupiter stuff here, or and then also because you're bringing up all the stuff with the fours, and then um the four.
Oh, hey, check this out. You know we're talking about all the fours.
Mhm.
Um, beryllium is a chemical element. It has a symbol Be and atomic number 4.
How, how do you spell it? I feel like an idiot. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So, isn't that
Oh,
wild, man?
dang. That's
Yeah, we just talking about all the fours, and then beryllium's
wow.
got the. Yeah, that's kind of crazy right there.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's a good addition, a contribution from Seven.
Yeah, I
You know
was
that
thinking
that
I was thinking about the wheel, like that made me, I was thinking about the Wheel of Fortune tarot card
yeah.
and
Ezekiel 110 and the fixed cross and all that. Yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely relevant.
and the Jupiter.
Yeah, yeah. Jupiter being the ruling planet and everything.
Yeah. But do you remember what you were saying before you
Oh, I think I
cut
was
off?
just trying to say how with the two ravens, could it be like symbolic maybe of like a Harris Obama ticket?
Oh, interesting. Wait, oh, two ravens. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I
that's
have
a
issues with my when I try to go get on the StreamYard, my phone wants to overheat. It's like in the 90s. It's been in the 90s pretty consistently down here, and these mail trucks don't have air conditioning, so
oh
it
man.
usually puts it over the.
Did you need to get going?
Yeah, I probably will get going here in a second. I found a solution today. I just been pouring water over over my phone. That seems to work.
Oh man, no,
You
I
know,
don't wanna make you go through all
but
that. Yeah, I might have to maybe actually leave myself too. Well,
I was
I have to
hoping
leave around like one. Yeah, I was hoping Cody would me too.
hopefully Cody would
Kind of
come on.
kind of made this like a little spontaneous. Um, but I mean, did you want to like talk about anything else before you had to get going? I could just give you the floor. I mean, you're on a roll there with all that the Raven stuff.
Yeah. Am I coming through okay?
You're good now, yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to, with the Jay-Z stuff and the fours and Jupiter is how,
Oh, then you kind of cut out again.
in my back.
You're back. You're back, yeah.
I just want to talk about how like Jay-Z could mean Jupiter Zeus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jay-Z is a Sagittarius, which is under the rulership of Jupiter. So yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Easy. Well, yeah. Was there anything else? Everything that you just shared just blew my mind, though. Like I was just, like
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, I gotta dip out, man. I'll catch you later.
Okay,
All right,
sounds good.
sorry. Bye.
Yeah, man. Okay, let me. Okay, so I guess I'll just go back to what I was sharing about this. I'll go back from the start. I'm just in the middle of these slides, so I'm not even. I'll probably have something a little bit more um, complete, maybe tomorrow or something. But so again, let me actually go to the video, 7-1's video of the Revelation 12 sign. So this Revelation 12 sign thing, as once he pointed out the 255th anniversary of it, like my mind has just been absolutely blown. Like it's been the craziest time of my life because I had mentioned that on the anniversary, which was June 3rd, that was 404 lunar months after my mom went to give birth to me. Like that, it was exactly 404 lunar months or a span. So it's just that time period is just so crazy. And then to just show you guys what this is very important, I believe. So this, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this. Hey, coffee girl. Pretty sure you guys have seen this picture, and he shows that it is a depiction of the Revelation 12 sign, which was a Venus transit, um, followed by an eclipse. So this is the eclipse, and then this is the sun, and then an eclipse. So that sounds like confusing because it's like there's a sun here and then there's eclipse here, but when you see when you watch the video, it just makes perfect sense. So all right, so you're gonna see Venus here, the sun here. So just watch. And keep in mind the date right here, June 3rd, 1769. All right. So still see Venus right there. And then you're going to see this eclipse. Right there. So do you guys, hopefully you guys see where the resemblance, because it's undeniable to me. So I think he's completely spot on. And something I found, or not I found, Casey pointed out to me. Casey Jones, he pointed out to me, I've been finding a lot of crazy just things about my dad and his death. And he pointed out to me that this is the day that my dad died. And it was 12,012 weeks after the actual um, day that happened, the actual day. And it was also 84,084 days. So both of those like stood out to me a lot because this made me think about time, like this connection with time. You know, we have 12-hour, 2 12-hour periods, like 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I was thinking about Father Time and Chronos and Saturn. This actually, well, this is another thing that, so this Casey was the one who also um brought up like this father time connection with my dad too. Like he brought this to my attention. So now I just I mean, pretty much what I'm sharing is technically Casey's work. um so again, father time, Chronos is Saturn, and so I was thinking about my dad, you know, father time, and my dad was a Capricorn. He was born right at the cusp of Capricorn to Aquarius. His birthday is January 19th. And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So um, you see the Grim Reaper. So this is a Death Tarot card. Again, like the whole thing about my dad's death. And um, the Death Tarot card, Grim Reaper, and Saturn. So there's this connection with um yeah, like the Grim Reaper, Saturn, the Death Tarot card. But the Death Tarot card is actually, it's ruled by Pluto, and that's where the 84. That's why that's interesting, because Pluto's 84,084 days after that Revelation 12 sign, my dad's death. So very weird. So weird. And and then there's another father son thing with Uranus. Well, okay, so Uranus, it its orbital period is 84 Earth years. Um, so the 84, or yeah, the 84 also connects to Uranus, and Uranus was the father of Saturn. So just another, like, you know, father son connection. And then so I can break this down. So I had this crazy synchronicity on the June 24th, because this was the day that I turned um the same age that my dad was when I was born, which is 1707 weeks. And I had pointed out that from that day, or when you convert this to this date, 1707, to the day that that alignment happened, that happened to be 911 weeks and 1 day. And I that was just really mind blowing to me, because I brought up this interesting connection with smoking and 9/11, because he died of lung cancer, and he was a smoker. Um, so if you look at, trying to find a good, I mean, this is a decent picture here, but this is perfect. So when you look at this image here, so this, like, to me, this totally looks like the twin towers with like smoke coming out of it. So like this one is like a good picture to look at, but it's just such a um I feel like it's just such a uncanny resemblance. You know, you see the two towers, looks um like this looks like this, you know what I mean? And then the smoke. So it was really interesting how, where was it at? yeah, I thought it was really interesting how the day that me and him lined up, or like this number, the 1707, to the day that the alignment happened, it was 911 weeks in one day, like the exact, totally matching that date, 9/11/01. And then um, there's just so many pieces to this, but this had to do with the show Lodge 49. And then, so I had to do Lodge 49. And then this is another thing that Casey told me about, because this show is about a guy named Sean who loses his dad. That's like that's like the premise of the show, which makes it even more interesting. So looking for any semblance of idyllic middle class existence he knew before his father's death, and his name's Sean. And this show came out from the first episode, the August 6th, that was the first episode, to 6/24. It was 307 weeks exactly, and this day was the 307th anniversary of Freemasonry. So I thought that was really interesting, and I knew for sure that this Lodge 49, that the 49 is a reference to Venus. I knew for sure it's a reference to Venus. You look at the magic square of Venus. It's a 7x7 grid, and it's all the numbers between 1 and 49. Yeah, right here. So magic square Venus. It's a 7x7 grid, all the numbers between 1 and 49. 49 is the highest. Casey's back. Hey, back?
Hey, man.
What's up?
You got me?
Yeah, you good?
Let me turn this up a little bit. Yeah, man, that Lodge 49 stuff's pretty cool.
It's still hard for me to get over it, dude. Like,
Yeah. You know, I think, I don't know if I told you, I definitely told Cody about how, you know how it's the order of the links in that show, right?
oh, yeah.
And then if you look up, I found this out by looking at the table of correspondences in Aleister Crowley's Liber 777. But
Yeah.
according to that, the lynx is a symbol of Venus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think too, like the fact that it's on the 218th day of the year 2018, and then February 18th is the 49th day of the year. So.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that, you know, that Zenith of the Alpha has covered a lot in the past. And if you spell out, I think you spell out February 18th, it sums to 218 in the ordinal cipher. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta check that.
Yeah, it's either February 18th or 18th of February. But,
Let's see. Oh, like when you like you write it out like that. 18.
yeah, let's see. I guess you have to have the OF maybe in there too.
Oh.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
So.
Oh, that's, dude. The Sumerian, that's freaking crazy too.
Yeah, 1308. That's a big, you know, Revelation 12 number too, right?
Yeah, dude. And then, oh my god, I gotta look more into this, because the 1117, that's the 187th prime, right?
Yeah. Cody's been talking about that 187 day too.
Well, yeah, and then like there's a whole thing with LeBron James and his son. That was like right after that whole thing um, with like me and my dad, and I think um, it happened 187 days before his 40th birthday
Yeah.
when his son was signed to the Lakers.
Okay.
So I thought that kind of blew my mind because it was um yeah, because my dad died at age 40, and then I just remember there's so many things about like so many father son things going on before. Like well, I wasn't even the one like necessarily finding it because like um Cody and Derek were doing like they were finding a bunch of stuff on the father son things that were going on with like Roman Reigns, his
Yeah.
dad dying, and then um I like, to me I was like, that's crazy how that's all like this stuff is all like lining up with like yeah, with my dad. And then he was talking about on the WrestleMania 40 there was or they were they were tying in WrestleMania 40 to all that. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, and this was interesting too. I don't know if I've even shared this with you, but because he was talking about the gold theme too. Like they were talking about gold, how gold was um
Hmm.
part of that. And um let me see. So when you so this is what's interesting about 1707 that I noticed. So when you look at the number 1707, it's 33569, right? 3569.
Okay.
So the 3569th prime, 360, it's um it's 33331, and this is the amount of days. So if you go from the start of construction of the Golden Gate Bridge to 47,
Yeah.
it was 33331 days.
Okay.
So I was like, so you see what I'm trying to say? Like I was that was something that I kind of I kind of knew about the 1707, which was like it really I was really I just thought it was kind of crazy. And then so the prime factorization of 1707 is the friggin' number
35.
that yeah, and that's how many days between the Golden Gate Bridge and WrestleMania 40.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
and that was one day before the eclipse. But yeah, I was like,
yeah. Yeah, you also you were talking you mentioned to me earlier how I don't know if it's connected or not, but like the V for Vendetta came out on 17th of March, right?
yeah,
And how that's the 40th prime number.
yeah.
So
Did you get? I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but I guess mine again. Okay, so when you look at the word, when you look at Pope, like the Wikipedia, and you get the Greek word, um,
oh, Pontiff means bridge, right? Is that what you're talking about?
or so
Or,
if you take this word and then get the Greek, so you get 442. All right.
oh, 442. Okay.
Now, if you go from Hugo Weaving, so if you go from his birthday or my dad's birthday to his birthday. Oh, so just just in case to make that connection more clear. So this is the main character of V for Vendetta. This is the person who plays V. See right here. So we're talking about V for Vendetta right now. And when you go from my dad's birth to his birth, I'm pretty sure you could assume what I'm gonna say. 19959 to 441960, or a span. It's a span, but so he was born a span of 442 days after my dad, and that literally mean um that's father, or papa, whatever. I think also what's interesting about the 442 is I think maybe Chronos equals 442. Let me see. Ah, there's so many ways to spell it. Chronos. Do you? Oh yeah, here it is. Cronus. So Father Time, Cronus, 442. I thought that was pretty interesting. I think I saw in someone's video recently. It might have been Cody, but I remember someone was talking about the 296 too. But yeah, I just thought that interesting. The 442 Fibonacci. And Shane is saying the hundreds 177 days between the annular eclipse and the eclipse. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. And that's interesting to me too, because the annular eclipse, that was the one that exited out of Corpus Christi, and that whole thing was just really interesting to me because of the father son connection and Christ. And the day, I remember, so Cody made another video on about June 17th. This was the day that the Celtics won the finals, and this was a trip because this is my dad's. Well, first of all, going back, so from the eclipse, the annular eclipse that Shane just mentioned, to this day, it was a span of 248 days. So there's a lot of things going on with this day that Cody mentioned, with like WWE. There's an event in Corpus Christi, and this is interesting. I don't want to. I'm just gonna say I don't want to show the work, but on this day, my dad actually turned. Oh no, this day was 307 lunar months after my dad's death. So this is the day that I checked it too. So this day was the day that marked the 307th lunar month after my dad's death. So that Corpus Christi thing was really, really interesting to me. And then, with the 11177, that's interesting because I think it's father son. Maybe it's father and son. Yeah, father and son.
Kamala's turning 248 Mercury years old on the 13th.
On oh, where'd you go? So, well, before he cut out, he said Kamala is turning 248 Mercury years on the 3rd. Oh yeah, next week. Interesting. So yeah, I was thinking about the like how weird that my dad turned, or my dad was 1707. Right. So do you want to say what you're saying again, Casey, about Kamala?
Oh yeah. She turns 248 Mercury years old on the 13th. So
But didn't
a week from today. So next Sunday.
so
Wait,
her
Saturday, Saturday.
um so um didn't doesn't somebody else have a Mercury birthday on that day too?
Yeah, her and Joe Biden share a Mercury birthday. They're
Yeah.
91 Mercury years apart. So he'll be let's see, he'll be turning 339. 339, yeah.
Oh, the that 339 is interesting because of the Revelation 19:19, the 339th verse of
Yeah.
Revelation.
Right. It's that's another 7711 special.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to you seven for this verse is big. Um oh yeah, okay, so something about that 17:17 I was thinking about. Well, what else was it? I'm not gonna I'll probably have to share it another time, but because I can't remember it from the top of my head. Let's see. Um, what else do we got in the chat? Hey, Cable, Dialectics. How you doing? What's up, GG? How you doing? So yeah, unfortunately. Okay, well, okay, let me go back to the last 49 real quick. I might have to wrap it up in a little bit. Unfortunately, I was hoping Cody would be able to jump on, but we could maybe do this tomorrow if you're. I don't know if you have time tomorrow too. Do you do you have any time tomorrow, Casey? Oh, well, okay. I guess I'll just wrap this up. But so we're talking about the whole thing with Lodge 49 and Venus, right? So the 49 and then Magic Square Venus 7 by 7 49. And I thought it was interesting that you know I went from 7/7/49 to my birth, and it was exactly 507 months, which is really interesting because when you look at the time of 507 a.m. is 307 minutes, just like um, it was the 307th anniversary of Freemasonry, and it was 307 minutes, 307 weeks after the first episode of that show. And then I noticed that 5:07 p.m. is 17 hours and 07 minutes, which is crazy because that was you know, I was 1707 weeks, and that was my dad was 1707 weeks when I was born. And when you look at the 507, first of all, just looking at Pope Francis, because we were talking about like the connection with Father and Pope, Pope Father, Pope Francis equals 507, and 507 is 3 times 13 times 13, and that is the date that Pope Francis became the Pope, March 13th, 2013, 3/13/13. So there's so much stuff with like this like father thing, and um, so there's one more. What else was I gonna say? Oh, okay. So I think it was maybe 1/7/19. Okay, so when you go from that date, seven or wait, what was it? 1/7/1907. So 177 to my birth um, is 30,955 days, and I found that the 30,955th verse of the Bible, the whole Bible, is Revelation 15:8, and it reads like this: the temple was filled with smoke, and no man was able to enter into the temple until the 7 plagues and 7 angels were fulfilled. 7 7 magic square Venus, and um this whole thing with smoke. The temple is filled with smoke. The Bible, the Bible says your body is a temple. So I was totally thinking about this whole thing with like 9/11 and the smoking with my dad smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
And um, so when you look at the value of this verse, the whole verse, it's um,
Oh,
oh no, sorry, introduction. All right, so the whole verse is 676. So this is where I'm just like, what the heck? So when you go, I was checking how old my mom was on the day that we had that alignment. So don't forget the 676. So when you go from my mom's birth, she was born on February 25th, 1968, to um the that day. So she was exactly 676 months. My mom was 676, or it was exactly a span of 676 months after my mom was born that we had this alignment, me and my dad. And again, it was 911 weeks in one day after 1707. Like it's so hard. There's so many things. And then whenever I try to like reiterate it, it just sounds like, so it's just, um, and then I was telling Casey that, what was it? Hold on, I gotta read it again, but it had to do with all this, like the 303 Saturn stuff. Um, it
hey
was,
Sean.
what's up? What's good?
Oh hey, did you mention 307 lunar months earlier?
Yeah, so the day that the Celtics, when they won the finals, which was
Yeah.
the uh on June 17th, that was 307 lunar months after my dad died.
Oh, okay. Because something 7 1 I talk a lot about is the date November 1st being how it's the true Pluto return for
Right,
America,
right.
you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And let's see, that'll be Millennium Lunation. That'll be 307 lunar months into the Millennium Lunation. That'll be the beginning of Millennium Lunation 307.
Oh
Yeah.
shoot. Oh my
So
god, that's crazy. That's crazy. And damn, I was like thinking, it's pretty close to the 307th day of the year too.
yeah, it is. Well, that'll be the second would be 307, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty close. That's pretty cool too, how it's 4 months and 9 days after the 24th. Um, oh yeah, so the thing was, what I noticed was that that number 676, um, again, that is the reduction value of that verse, and 676 is that's a 26th square. So I I noticed that on my 26th birthday, 10 7 Okay, so I turned 26 on in 2017, and when you go from my 26th birthday to the first episode of Lodge 49, that's 303 days,
Okay.
and that stood out to me because of Saturn.
Yeah.
They were talking about Father Time, and so Saturn equals 303, and it came out 303 days after my 26th birthday.
Yeah.
Um, and then I it hit me that 303, the 303rd prime is 1999, and this is the year my dad died,
Yeah.
1999. Whoa, what the heck? That's a trip. I didn't even realize that. This is pretty rare, right? Like for something like this, like um the 1999th triangular number is itself pretty much.
Oh. Oh yeah. I didn't know that.
Cody,
All right.
you there, Cody?
Yeah, can you guys
Uh, I was able to hear you, and then kind of cut out a little bit.
can
Oh, kind of. I don't know what's going on. It's weird because it sounds good, but then it just cuts out.
Hey, let me drop out real quick, and then maybe Cody's connection will get better.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry, it was my girlfriend. I forgot we had to do something tonight, so I was a
Oh, no
bit
problem.
late. But
That's okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, unfortunately, I think I might actually have to leave in about like 20 minutes, but we can definitely talk for a little bit if you're cool with that. But are you else free tomorrow?
yeah, what time?
Um, maybe like 12, maybe 12.
12 your time?
Yeah. So like, what time is it right now for you?
That's almost 10. It's 9:48 p.m.
Mm. Would that would 12 be okay for you tomorrow? Like my time?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I could talk for a little bit. How you doing?
I'm good. I just was uh well, today I didn't really do a whole lot as far as decoding, but I haven't really had a chance to talk to you a lot about all the stuff that I guess I've put out because
Dude,
I know you've been busy. So,
yeah.
and
I mean, after the video you shared yesterday, like I wouldn't be surprised if you just need like a few days just to, because that's like, like that was amazing information.
yeah, I mean, again, because of what Lambda was showing, it just made me look into the number 1776, and I mean, that's just where it started, but I didn't expect to find, and I don't know why no one has ever brought up. I mean, at least no one that I know of has really brought to anyone's attention that Beyonce, her name equals 1776 in two ciphers.
Yeah.
And I still really don't think people understand the gravity of that, because you're talking about you're not just talking about two of like the reverse triangular and the reverse primes. Those ciphers are a bit more. Of course, I think they're relevant, but when you're talking about the two most prominent big cipher, which is standard gematria and Jewish, and the fact that her name somehow equates,
Yeah.
because you got to think that those two systems are completely different. There's not anything, the way the numbers are set up. It would be so hard to get those two things to be both 1776.
No, for
And then
sure.
of course the fact that her album that she released, if you add her name and the album together, it also equals that. So it was clear that. And then when I went back and I found that she was 1776 days born after the eclipse and 666 lunation, I was like, okay, well, that's and there's more. I think I didn't even share. Like I did a whole kind of like mapping out of 1776s, and there's stuff there still to find. Like there's still some stuff to find with connection, because in fact, if you go 1776 days after her birth, it actually lands on the anniversary of the Trinity test, July 16th, which is a big day that keeps coming up for me. And what's also interesting about that day is it can be written 167, and United States equals 167 also. So that could tie in with the 1776.
Yeah. But yeah, you should. Well, I know. Casey he told me that he was telling you about the forest stuff, but I don't know if he said everything. I mean, Casey, like, if you want to go over that stuff again, like it was so mind
Oh
blowing.
yeah, yeah. All the fours, man. You know, Beyonce, Jay-Z born on the fourth. Their daughter born on 40 date numerology. They got married on the fourth, 40 years after Martin Luther King assassination. She was born 444 days after Venus Williams, and I think Beyonce has that strong Venus connection because Venus was perfectly on her ascendant when she was born. She was also born 22 days before Serena Williams, which that reduces to 4. And keep in mind too how Venus is 1035, civil rights is 1035. We talked about how her second song on the album is Blackbird, which was a song written by Paul McCartney and John Lennon that was inspired by the civil rights movement in the Southeast. And there was some more stuff like Robert Kennedy and the Ravens, and how there's like that Blackbird song was kind of reintroduced to a new generation in the movie Boss Baby, and Boss Baby is voiced by Alec Baldwin, who was involved in the Rush shooting, which was kind of kind of like coded to the Crow, another Blackbird. And they're actually about to start, the trial's about to start on the 9th, which would be Tuesday. And the thing that we found while we were talking about it live is that how beryl is a stone. It's actually, beryllium is the 4th element on the periodic table.
Yeah, let me pull.
Right?
Let me pull this up because this one's pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, we found that one live. I thought that was pretty fascinating. Like we got Hurricane Beryl headed to Texas, and beryllium's the 4th element. And I think 7-1 pointed out how Ezekiel's will is made of beryl, or it's the color of beryl, or however you say it.
Yeah, first of all the 4s, that's pretty crazy. I know you told me about the Venus or Venus Williams, the 444 days, and yeah. I didn't even really connect anything with Beyonce and Venus yet, but I already knew there was a connection. I just didn't really look into it. But.
Well, I think her birthday too, like it could be written 4-9, which is the magic square, and also like Jay-Z's got the 444 album, and Beyonce had an album that was called 4. Her 4th album is just titled 4. So
that 444 is the gematria of rapper too. So
okay.
So that's a whole code when it comes to rappers. 444.
Yeah. And something that Sean pointed out is how 4th FOURTH is 444 in the Latin cipher. So
okay. And another thing to mention here with this, that's crazy. I didn't know that 4th equals 444. Another thing to mention with the beryl thing is the first of all, beryllium. Yeah, that's pretty crazy too. And so beryl also makes up one of the elements, one of the rocks called emerald. Emerald is also in the Bible, I believe, and also you have the Emerald City in the Wizard of Oz,
Yeah.
and yeah, it says right there, well-known varieties of barrel include emerald. So I think this connects with, it could connect to Seattle somehow also being connected with emerald. But another thing I think of also is like I said, the Wizard of Oz connection. But um yeah, I just think that there's something there with that too. And the fact that the barrel is hitting, did you guys see the city it's likely to go right next to?
Corpus Christi or Houston?
I think it's going to hit both. I mean, Corpus Christi. It's just so crazy because Beyonce's song earlier this year was Texas Hold'em, and in that song she said, "There's a tornado in my city," just randomly. And so Texas had a bunch of tornadoes earlier this year, and then now they're getting the first hurricane of the season. They're going to get hit by, and
I was gonna say it's interesting too how like there's the theme with like you know how a big part of like Beyonce's narrative is that like she's a witch,
yeah,
and then the whole thing with the witch in the Wizard of Oz,
yep.
and then all the witch stuff you've been, and then all the witch stuff you've been like pointing out since June.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely there's all these aspects that I've been talking about are I think are all tied into what I shared with the Beyonce thing. The rose probably even has a connection, of course, because the Venus is there. But then also the witch stuff is a never ending theme this year, especially I think. And but yeah, I think it's just so crazy how all these narratives are constantly going,
Yeah.
you know, at all times, and it's always trying to follow the paths of each one.
Also, with the force stuff, you know, I think it has connection to the Paris Olympics because the original logo appeared like the number 4, like the Jupiter glyph, and Jay-Z, he's born under the rulership of Jupiter as a Sagittarius, and Jay-Z could be Jupiter Zeus. He's got 99 problems. Jupiter's 99, and they conceived their first daughter was conceived in Paris, France, and Beyonce's got um, a French lineage, French Creole. Her name is French because it's her mom or her mom's maiden name is Beyonce.
Yeah, I mean that's a great point. I mean the French thing, I could have definitely talked about that yesterday in the stream, but I kind of there's probably so much more to talk about, you know, like with Beyonce, and in fact I kind of just want to do a whole look more into her kind of thing too.
Yeah.
And I'm also following right now I'm still following riddles about Aleister Crowley and all this other stuff too. This 418. Well, today I actually found a book by one of the guys who deciphered Crowley's book Liber 27, and this is actually mind blowing. I sent a picture of this to Sean right before I got on here, but I just saw something crazy today that I mean it's going to lead to a whole rabbit hole for me because man, like it's called the Trigrammaton Kubala. And the Trigrammaton Kubala is actually a cipher on Derek's calculator, but no one really ever looks into it. But man, they have each one of the letters in that alphabet in that cipher are correlated to the tarot cards and to the elements and the planets. So, and the way that they do these calendars in Thelema is their first day of the year is March 20th. And basically it's talking about, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should get into this now because it would lead into a much longer thing. But it's just something crazy. Maybe I'll talk about it more tomorrow's stream. But it's still got my mind blown. I haven't even been able to actually fully grasp it yet because first of all, it's very complicated. I'm not even sure how it fully works, but I just know that it's going to completely change the way I see stuff. The way what I just learned today. I had to actually download this book to get it.
Which book is that?
It's called Trigrammaton Kubala by Leo Gillis. Leo Gillis.
Trigrammaton. You know that 320 that corresponds a lot to what's going on next spring, you have Venus going into Pegasus. So we talked about that a little bit, and it also around that time there's going to be the
I think you cut out, Casey.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
hello.
I hear you now.
Here you got me now. I was just
Yeah.
saying like that around that 320 date next year, that'll be the start of the 33rd pentagram from the Revelation 12 sign, and Venus going into Pegasus. That's also the Persian New Year, and they call it Nowruz, Nowruz, and yeah. So,
Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
did I lose you?
I hear you.
So that's it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting too. I think the whole thing with 320 is as soon as I saw that, and the craziest thing is how they actually came to this. Um, it's all about opposite numbers. So it said something about 204 minus 156, and so man, I can't even. It's actually really complicated, and I don't know if it's that complicated, but it's interesting because they're using like sevens on here.
What's up, Seven? Aw.
Just to add to the 320 real fast, that movie, Knowing, that's its release date.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
And
Yeah.
and in the Trigrammaton cipher, it starts with the number 0 because it relates 0 to the Tau.
You there, Seven?
Something's not
I know we lost
working.
Casey.
Something's
Can you
not
guys hear
working.
me?
Hey, what's up?
Something.
Oh, what the heck? What the heck is going on? I don't even know what's going on. I was just about to have everyone dropped out. Okay, so you can see why Casey had to drop out. See if maybe Seven and Cody come back. That was weird. Everyone just dropped out like out of nowhere. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Let's just wait a little bit. And I miss having these kind of streams. I miss when I was able to do this like during the week, but oh man. Hopefully they come back. Let me just hit him, Cody. Maybe do I have to put the link again? I'll just put the link again. Anyways, what can I say right now? Yeah, I'll just wait a little bit. But okay, so if you guys are listening right now, we I'll probably try to do another stream tomorrow. Maybe have everyone come back on, and probably around 12 p.m. my time. So I know people are watching from a lot of different places. So I guess try to Seven's back. So that device is not connected. What the heck? Device is not connected. It says what? Something going on with my connection? Okay, so Casey's there. Hey, Casey. Casey?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
I was able to get back on. Oh, that sucks. See, Cody was like holding class, man. I wonder if he's got the master teacher number in his like his life path. He's always like, I could just sit and listen to him, man. He's always got something fresh to teach.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. Hey, Seven.
7, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, it was weird because like everybody just kind of dropped out at once. And then Cody was like in the middle of talking and then he just dropped out too.
Yeah.
You guys good now though?
Oh, hey, something Cody mentioned on Discord earlier was he's talking about some 25th Amendment stuff. I remembered that you go from that 4/18/2000 date to the anniversary of the moonwalk is 25 lunar years. So,
Really?
and I think right now that Kamala's in her 90s, is 97 Venus years old right now. So.
Wait, so what was
something that
which anniversary of the moonwalk was it?
the 55th anniversary.
Was that the one that just passed?
No, it's coming up on 7/21.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was the number that you
25 lunar years.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I wish I had the calculator. I don't have the lunar calculator, but yeah, how you doing, Seven? Still there? What number, Casey? What number do you divide again by for the lunar years?
Oh, it's just once you get the lunar months, you just divide by 12. 12 lunar months is a lunar year.
All right. You guys all there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cody?
I see Cody.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I want to hear more about what he was saying about the trigrammaton, I think it was.
Yeah. Hopefully, Cody, hopefully your connection gets better because
I'll dip out. I think the less people, the better the connection. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop out.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay. Hey, what's up, Casey?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, everybody? Yeah, just having trouble getting logged on here, but yeah, keep going. I was just going to add some stuff about the 1776 stuff a little bit whenever you guys get a chance to let me in there.
Oh yeah, go for it, man.
Oh, I remember, I think it was on Cody's live stream yesterday. I think Lambda was in there and he mentioned the Treaty of Paris. I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
I think I do. Yeah.
Well, anyways, a little bit of history. We have the upcoming Olympics in Paris, but the 1776 obviously is the American Revolution. But the Treaty of Paris was like the treaty that ended, the American Revolution and all the fighting. And in that treaty, it was determined that the newly formed United States country owed France 6 million livres because that's who they borrowed the money from to fight the War of Independence.
Mm-hmm.
So since they borrowed that money, the Treaty of Paris, there was a representative from the Vatican, a representative from, you know, the America, and then a representative from France, of course. But yeah, that treaty was decided that the United States owed 6 million livre, and they had 7 years to pay it back.
Mm-hmm.
And to make a long story short, the United States, America never was able to pay it back within that 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's the initial, you know, financial, I guess, instrument that has put, you know, the United States of America on the path we're in today with all this debt. So I mean, just a little history, and so it's interesting that we're, you know, talking this year about all the money stuff, and then, you know, the Olympics in Paris, but yeah, the Treaty of Paris is what was kind of the downfall, because I don't know why we didn't just say, hey, you know, we just said screw England. Why don't we just, you know, why would we pay that debt back to France either? You know, that kind of that agreement kind of sent us down the path we're on today. So I mean, this little history lesson for the, you know, the 1776 American Revolution.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's why I miss your videos, man. I miss this kind of stuff, you know.
Well, yeah, you know, and I think, what was it? Casey was mentioning the civil rights, you know, and stuff. And, you know, once you start talking about these treaties and civil rights, you start getting into the law stuff. And there's like I guess, you know, to me, there's a high, you know, barrier of entry into the understanding and dipping your foot into the law stuff. So a lot of people kind of shy away from it, which in fact is, you know, what they want you to do, because everything that is, you know, going on was, you know, the second you step foot out of your door, you're, you know, you're under some kind of a law, right? So I mean, that whole realm with this high barrier of entry is what we experience, you know, every minute of the day. We're under some kind of, you know, form of law. So I know that's why I mention a lot of stuff in my videos about the 14th Amendment, you know, and then we're talking about the 25th Amendment too. But yeah, there's a permeation of this law stuff that, you know, I've been adding into my videos for the last year or two here. So, but yeah, I just like to mention that the you know, the initial, you know, where we're at $34 trillion this year, you know, but yeah, that was the initial, yeah, that was the start of it. The Treaty of Paris in 1783, and then, you know, they couldn't pay the debt back because they had 7 years, so the debt was due in 1790. So they had to create the Constitution in 1789, a year before the debt was due, and that Constitution formed a more structured government. It was basically just a more structured way to pay the settlement money back to them. I mean, it's all about money. It's all been all about money since that Treaty of Paris deal. So
Yeah.
but I mean, it's like so relevant because, you know, currently our money is based on your credit, right? Your future credit is what's running the currency system. You know, they bet on your future, you know, earning potential, you know, because there was nothing else to collateralize at some point. So at some point, you know, the American people which don't even know their collateral, they're holding up the, you know, the dollar. At some point, that's going to have to go away. And, you know, of course, we have the cryptocurrency, which is interesting. Crypt is dead. And yeah, there's just there's so much symbolism with the money too. So, but yeah, I just want to mention that, guys. I hear you guys talking about the 1776, and I've studied so much history. And when I do my next video, I'm going to kind of dive a little bit more into my own personal experiences with, you know, this stuff. So yeah, I just want to give you guys a quick overview about that.
Dang, that was the perfect addition. Cody, are you there? Like, do you want to? Can you add on?
Can you hear me? I
Yeah,
jumped in, but you can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's up, Seven? Nice to have you be able to talk to you again. And yeah, everything you just said is very interesting, because, you know, I noticed that almost everything I decode, there's always money symbolism, and, you know, I don't often always talk about it, but like even yesterday when I was showing the 1776s, I mean, I ended the presentation talking about how the Federal Reserve System equals 1776. And in fact, reserve currency, which is the US dollar right now, equals 1776. So there's definitely even more to look into with that connection. And just the fact that they equal 1776 is intriguing to me. But, and whatever they're planning with this financial reset that they always talk about with the new reserve currency and whatever Russia and BRICS is going to do and whatever the dollar is going to do, it's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And I think we're only a matter of few years away from it fully playing out. And I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. I'm just wondering also how Trump's going to play into it, because he has a lot of connections to money and stuff too. And Kamala Harris, she seems like she's going to be the one. If anything, she seems like she's going to be the one, if she does end up becoming president here soon, like they've been kind of foreshadowing. She seems like she's going to be the one that's involved in the crashing of the currency because of her connection to Herbert Hoover and the Great Depression. So I feel that's kind of how I feel it going on. But yeah, definitely a lot more to look into with the money parts for me.
Well, right. Yeah, there's I think the Federal Reserve and in addition to the Federal Reserve, everyone kind of knows it's a bad thing. It's not federal. It's not it's not a government entity, but people are waking up to this money, I guess you could say, Ponzi scheme. And so there has to be a controlled demolition of the current system, I guess you could say, because 95% of people are still unaware, how money works. But to me, there has to be a controlled demolition at some point. And like I said, they have to control they have to control everything. So they want to take their system out and bring in the new system, as they like they want to.
Right. Yeah.
Hey Cody, I don't remember if you included I know you did a video on the Hawk Tuah girl. I don't know if that was part of the Beyonce video, but I think it's interesting how there's that tie-in to the Titanic, and just how the Titanic, that was a big lead up to the formation of the Federal Reserve. And I think maybe Seven knows more about that, or could tell you more about that than I could.
Oh, okay. So let me just, the Titanic, of course, the theory is that the opposition to the Federal Reserve System were on the Titanic, right? And then that the Titanic was sunk on purpose to kill the people that, were going to oppose the creation of the Federal Reserve, and the other, quote unquote conspiracy about the Titanic is that they actually sunk the sister ship, the Olympic. And it's so funny because the Olympic is coming up here, So, I mean, and then what was it, last year they went to see the Titanic and the super rich guy went down there and then their sub imploded. I mean, there's this constant, drilling in of this Federal Reserve theme and money theme with these events in the last, year or two here.
Yeah, the Titanic's definitely a good point to bring up. And, I haven't really done enough research into the Titanic in general, as far as my gematria, but also just it just seems, last year they were definitely giving us more clues to look back into it with that Titan thing. And I'm just wondering if that has some sort of parallels to the US dollar being the Titan right now, or the big man on the world stage, the reserve currency, but eventually it's going to implode. So I don't know if that might be kind of a bit of a foreshadow with that, but
yeah, and yep, go ahead, Casey.
I was just saying, I just wonder about the whole mythology about the the Titans and the Olympians. They're kind of at odds with each other, and I just wonder if there's maybe I don't know what. I just wonder what that might represent today, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point too, with them being at odds, the Titanic and the Olympic. But this year, they've just been giving us so much symbolism with France and with this American connection, because, as we know, like we had the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse, and then we had Cody Rhodes, win his championship against Roman Reigns, and then go on to have his first title defense in France. And his dad's name was, of course, the American Dream, and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and that obviously has to connect to the money system, the supposed American Dream. And then there was also a bunch of other French connections throughout. You have this Joker movie coming up, which has a French in it. And of course, the Jesuits founded there. And so there's this huge theme. And I'm just wondering what exactly they have planned for this Olympics period, because as many people have pointed out, they seem to think that Jason from Archaics, I don't know how any of you guys are familiar with Jason from Archaics, but he's always said that he expects kind of a similar play out as the 1972 Munich massacre at the Olympics. And so I'm just wondering, and they've already kind of gone into a state of chaos in France after after this election stuff that's going on. So I'm just wondering what's going to play out. Maybe nothing, but I guess
it's funny you mentioned that, Cody, because I've been working on something with a video that I'm going to put out, but about Mercury. Of course, Mercury is associated with commerce, but on I think it's 6 days or 4 days into the Olympics, which is July 30th. July 30th is completely coded to Mercury. It's going to be a 9/11 Mercury anniversary. It's going to be a death date Mercury anniversary of Osama bin Laden. It's I wrote it all down. There's 4 Mercury. Well, it's going to be a Bruce Willis Mercury birthday and one more Mercury birthday, all on 7/30. There's four connections, 2 of them from 9/11, one Bruce Willis, and I can't think of the other one. Is it JFK? I wrote it all down. I don't have it in front of me. I'm out of town right now. But yeah, on 7/30, July 30th, there's 4 Mercury birthdays on the same day that have to do with 9/11 and
That's
stuff.
that 307 coming up again.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 30, right. So, but I'm gonna do a video on that because I know Casey, he did the first video about the 193 Mercury years birthday for JFK. Then Bruce Willis was 193 Mercury years old during 9/11. And then he did the Mercury rising. Because Mercury was rising at 8:46. When the first plane hit. And then what's interesting too is if you look at Mercury on the day of 7/30, it's almost, if you set your location to France, it's like it's going to rise at like 6 or 7 minutes after 8:46, so like 8:50 something. So yeah, there's like a huge connection to July 30th and Mercury. So I mean, because Mercury is commerce, so maybe not so much a terrorist attack, but a money thing, during the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting. They're setting up something with the cryptocurrency market right now with what happened on July 4th. Big crash in the market. But I think in reality, it was something to scare people out before they pump it. And it's interesting because the stock market was doing the inverse of that. It was going up while the crypto was going down. And that's not normally what happens. But also what I was going to say about July 30th is that's Arnold Schwarzenegger's birthday also. I always think of Arnold Schwarzenegger when I hear that date.
Okay.
And, obviously he has a lot of ties to a lot of things, but he was Mr. Olympia too.
Right.
7 times. And also July 30th. Well, another thing I found earlier today that I mentioned to Casey about Mercury is that Kamala Harris, she will turn 248 Mercury orbits old on July 13th.
Okay.
Which is really interesting because the United States just turned 248. Now she's turning 248 Mercury, and she's doing that on July 13th, which is an interesting day. But also a few days later, she'll turn the 2448 prime days old. So there's another kind of a 248 in there. And of course, Hermes actually in gematria, Hermes is obviously Mercury. Hermes in standard gematria equals 248. So it's just really interesting to me that all this is, and I kind of felt like this was what was going to go down because, first woman president equals 248. And as soon as we get to the 248 birthday, it seems like this is really ramping up with Kamala Harris. So, and then Trump, obviously President Donald Trump equals 248. But I just thought that was interesting with the Mercury thing and how you're saying there seems to be a lot of Mercury stuff connected. And
Yeah, did Trump get it? Was his trial that he had, was that in Georgia? Is that what that was, that where he got or convicted of his felonies, whatever? Was that Georgia for his financial felonies?
no, it was New York where he
Oh,
got
it was New York. Okay.
his hush money was in New York. And
It's
that's
New York.
another
Okay.
clue. That's another clue that made me think that this is all about the money, because this whole thing with Trump was all about money, and I think that's what they were trying to really get across. It was always hush money, like secret. There's a secret about the money, something that no one knows yet, And I've exposed this before, but all of Trump's legal battles are tied to the legal battles of the cryptocurrency company Ripple. And again, he was supposed to be sentenced on July 11th, but then they changed it now. But he was supposed to be sentenced on the birthday of the SEC chairman that sued Ripple before before resigning office the next day. And this guy was hired by Trump, Jay Clayton. And I showed that how today is 7/6, which is the gematria of Ripple. And today they're having the Money in the Bank WWE event, which is all about this. The guy on the front of the case is Jay. So it's all connected. And like this whole thing is very interesting for this whole next month. And it just, I thought it was crazy that they changed the date from Trump's sentencing, though, to the lunar eclipse now, from 7/11 to the lunar eclipse. And what's actually interesting about that day is that's the 262 day of the year. And that's in the movie called Sneakers that came out in 1992 about secrets. There was XRP, which is the cryptocurrency created by Ripple. And in that movie, Sneakers, right after they talking about secrets, they go to hack into the Federal Reserve. And then on that screen in the Federal Reserve is XRP 262.
Really?
And get this, what does XRP cryptocurrency equal in gematria? It equals 262.
Wow.
And so this is why I'm sure that there's something big going to happen with XRP. Everyone seems to be like not looking into it, like a lot of people, but like I've been on this. That's the real original reason I got into gematria, actually, was XRP. But like the whole part of this is, it's just so crazy because they changed it. They changed it from July 11th to the lunar eclipse on the 262 day of the year. And it was like, wow, like,
Well,
of course
that's another Olympic connection too. 26.2 miles, the marathon. That's another Olympic connection.
right? Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, yeah, I'm super super curious about the Olympics. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm really curious what's going to play out. I'm really curious to see what the opening ceremony is going to, like, what symbolism they're going to have, like they had in 2012 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been looking into that because of course, I'm all about the 8/11. So the 8/11 closing ceremonies, yeah, the whole thing is just going to be super super interesting.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have my eyes peeled on the Olympics for sure. Sean's back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, since you brought up the 8/11, Casey's the only person I shared this with, but like, I mean, Seven, is it okay if I just show you something real quick that, like, have you seen the stuff that I've mentioned with the Lodge 49 and all that, and then how that show is about the guy named Sean who loses his dad, like.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Bobby yesterday about the Lodge 49, and I started looking into it. Yeah, he's kind of brought me up to speed a little bit on that.
So I decided to look at, like, because I found the synchronicity that I had with my dad when he turned, well, like I turned the same age that he was when I was born. But then I looked at the amount of time that he was when he died, and then I so I was curious about that, and then I found that this is the age that this is the date that I'll turn that age. And then I was looking at Lodge 49. I was curious about the time from the first episode of Lodge 49 to this day that I'll be the age that matches how old he was when he died. And so it's 1377% of a common year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
What's the,
think that
what's
just
the,
explains.
okay.
What was that?
Oh, May 10th, 2032. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that just explains a lot as to why I just gravitated towards your work, because it was just seems like it was meant to be like that.
Yeah, I think I sent you a message or a comment, and I was mentioning a synchronicity between our ages, and I didn't write it down. And the other day I was trying to find it again, but it had to do with that date 39? Is that what
Oh yeah,
the 30,000 839th verse is Revelation 8:11 or something like that?
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, there was a connection between that date and your birthday and that date and my birthday, but I didn't write it down and I forgot. But yeah, there was a connection there. So I mean,
I
yeah,
think
you're
you
looking
were
at the organic. I mean, there's a reason we're all sitting here talking together at the same time. I mean, there's that road you can go
Hey,
down, but certainly interesting.
hey, Sean, you know what blows my mind about that? I don't know if you noticed, but when you did that measurement, did you notice the days too? Because you didn't add the day to that, did you?
I didn't. This one?
Like if you add the day, or if you just go a day forward, it would be 5/27. That's the Golden Gate Bridge, man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
And you've also been all about the Golden Gate Bridge in a lot of your stuff too.
Yeah. Oh man, I didn't even think about that. Oh, actually, okay. Here's one more thing too. So seven. Have you ever? Do you see this? The 7181. Do you see this right here?
Okay.
So if you this is something I'm always looking for too, because when you add 141 plus 811 plus 620 6229, it's 7181.
Ah, okay.
So that's pretty interesting to me, I guess.
Yeah, I think let's see here. 7/1/2025 is that no, there's a date with 2025 I'm looking at, but we're in the 25th solar cycle, and I know you guys were talking about beryllium BE, that's 25. I've been tracking a lot of these 25s, and the sun I think is associated quite a bit with wormwood and stuff, and it's the alchemical is metal is gold. So yeah. But that's interesting. Have you ever used that as a date, that 7/1/81?
I think I have. Maybe I'll try to, because I'm oh man, I'm so backed up with like things I want to share. So hopefully I'll be able to share it soon. But I know for sure I've like found some crazy stuff with it.
Yeah. Like I've been on vacation from work, and my kids have baseball and basketball. So like this last month, I just kind of been just chilling out and doing family things and kind of putting all this stuff on the back burner. But like last night and the last few days, I've been kind of, I guess you could say buckling down, looking into this stuff again. And then, but in like a week or so ago, I went into my, like, I guess you could say my archive of all my old notes and stuff, and got them out and just started looking at stuff, and like, yeah, like stuff that I've touched on, like, 2, 3 years ago, is still kind of like coming up yet today. And also, I'm excited about some of the videos I got planned. So
Yeah, and because I know like the whole thing with the Olympics is super applicable to your what you found with like the iota, alpha, and omega, like with that, you know what I mean, like the how
oh, the Eiffel Tower, yeah,
yeah
that's so, I think that's so cool. It has to be deliberate. It just has to be.
yeah. There's something interesting that I found because I know like we're just I really feel like we're in a, I don't know if it feels like this to like you or Casey, because you guys have been in the game for like a lot longer, but like I just feel like something has like really opened up since the eclipse. Like this year, it just seems like to me, like since but granted, I've only really been doing this maybe like 2 years, but it just seems like like something has really amplified since then, and like I know we've a lot of people have been anticipating 2024 for something. Like we just knew that something big was going to be like, it was leading to something for sure. And um, I'm, I don't know. Do you feel like there's been more revealing or like anything like that, or does it like at least from your perspective, does it seem kind of like the same as it's been since you guys have been doing this for so long?
No, I mean, in the last, I don't know, 6 months, I would say, you have really, expanded your channel and your, the information you show. And Cody, like, I mean, he's went off. He is amazing. I think he is in probably the most amazing connections and videos in the last, 6 months here that, yeah, he's like to me, everything is amping up. And I can tell you too, in the other circles I run in with, like, I keep talking about this law stuff, and other circles I run in with the law stuff, there's people, understanding that there's a whole new revelation of, like, you know, unveiling of what's going on with the laws and how we're oppressed, and they use the laws against us, and then there is remedies to get out from all these monetary obligations, and everything's just kind of being unveiled right now, right? So yeah, I agree. There is, like, in all facets of the circles I run in, everything is just like getting better and better.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I asked was because I think the number that your work is centered around has so much to do with. Have you ever looked into this? How reveal equals 811?
Oh, okay. Yeah, the falling wormwood star. I mean, it's obviously about a meteor, but I think there's other symbolic representation. I mean, it's not just about a meteor that's going to hit the earth or a star that falls. I mean, it's like there's other symbolic representations, I think. And but when you guys did your videos the day or two after the Revelation 12 anniversary, and all the 255s, and like even today it's still permeating I just, like, it was just super validating. And I didn't have my time to look into all this stuff, and then you guys, like, I mean, you just, like, hit a home run with it. And so, I mean, I just know there's, I think this money stuff is actually probably, you're talking about crashes and stuff. I think it's I think there's something more positive on the horizon than we maybe give credit for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But yeah, that was just because I just feel like I was just thinking about this because I'm like I really do feel like we're in this big time of revealing, and like I know like the stuff that Cody was finding with Bray Wyatt, and like bringing up all that, like, can you keep a secret type of stuff, and all the things that they've been showing in the WWE. It really shows that I think it shows that they have been like I think the thing that has been everything's been leading up to is this, like, revealing of everything. And even to me personally, like some of the things I've been like finding with like how I've been able to connect my own life to everyone else's decodes, like Cody's and Derek's and like all that stuff. It's totally like changed my perspective about how all this stuff is like going on, and like it's like I guess that's how it speaks to me on an individual level. And I don't know if that's like if it's meant to do that, like if it's like a macrocosm type of thing, where it's like what you're experiencing like individually is kind of like what is like that's kind of what it's all leading to, like for everybody. I don't know, but that's just how it's been like.
It definitely is that. I mean, even if like I've been watching a lot of I've been trying to get an understanding of a lot of this Crowley Thelema magic stuff, and I've been watching some videos, and even these people, that are supposedly part of these things, they're always mentioning that the as above, so below, macrocosm, microcosm. Yeah, everything is connected and everything is happening in consciousness and on the grander scale, and it's reflecting in our own limited perspectives. So it's like that's why all at the same time, if you look for it, you're gonna find it. I mean, you're gonna see that things are opening up, and that's why when I originally stumbled across this stuff with Bray Wyatt last year, and then Kobe Bryant was connected to it as well, and then I found out that all this door symbolism, right, and all this door opening symbolism that was clearly being shown in WWE, and then all the Pluto stuff, which was clearly being shown in WWE as well, and revealing of secrets, and it just, and like you said, everything's especially since May, everything has like been opening up. May 1st, it felt like, is when I really noticed it myself. But I mean, even before that, it was. But like May 1st, like since then, it's just been some crazy stuff going on with me personally, and I know with you. And it just feels like it really is opening up the door of revealing. And yeah, it is mind blowing. Every day is a trip, that's for sure.
Yeah, because I just feel like everything is just like, it just seems like everything's kind of like right on schedule. It's like I was really anticipating 2024, and I obviously, like, things aren't the way that I was expecting them to be crazy. Like, I thought it was gonna be more like 9/11 type stuff, but it's like it's just, I feel like it, for me personally, it's really exceeding my expectations almost now. Like, just these crazy things that are happening with things that just seem like mundane events, but the way that it's like we're able to see like the connections to it, and like that, like how mind blown I've been lately is like even more rewarding than if I could have like predicted that there was going to be some type of attack on the eclipse or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely, I get what you mean. And everything that's been happening. I mean, just my biggest thing was the whole thing with the flooding and the Germany thing and the woman, and then just everything that I've been finding with the doors, and then with the Crowley stuff has got me on another whole thing. Like I said, what I found today, with Crowley and this cipher and this whole stuff has really got my I can't wait to look more into it and like try to figure it out, because it actually goes way over my head. What I read in this book today, like the beginning of it, it still goes over my head, but I'm sure
I was mind blown when you found that word was an Indonesian word for magic.
Oh yeah, I meant to write you that personally, like in the chat or in our personal chat, and tell you that, like, but I forgot, but like, because I was like, I immediately thought of you. I was like, oh my god, it's an Indonesian word. Of course it is. And then when I realized that Hawk Tua was basically saying like hawk magic, really is what it was. And so like it was like, wow, like I can't believe it, because it goes perfectly with, yeah, I mean, this Hawk Tua thing was just, I didn't really say much about it, but like it was definitely interesting with how it played out on June 11th too. We were expecting something big on June 11th, but it was just a joke Hawk Tua. So
yeah, but
it was interesting, that Hawk Tua thing, you talked about it in your video with Horace, whatever, but I had just done that video kind of with the 14 and the Osiris and the phallus, and then like, and then it permeates, you know what I mean? It's like, it just kind of manifested itself. It's immediately what I thought of when I heard about that Hawk Tua meme, and then like, I didn't have time to like expand it on my own. And then, you did your video, was that a couple days ago, I think? And that was a really mind-blowing video. Yeah, I think you hit that on the head. I mean, there's these archetypes are playing out over and over, and that's part of it.
Yeah, and when I first saw it, I was like, man, what is this? I turned to my girlfriend and I said, can you believe this stuff? This is the stuff that's going viral right now. And then I started thinking more about it, and I was like, first of all, I saw the word hawk in it, and I immediately thought of Horus. I know Horus isn't technically a hawk, but I immediately
Right,
thought
exactly.
but somebody did write in my comments actually that there is a connection somewhere in the mythology between Horus and hawks, and I need to go back and read that comment. But still, like, I immediately thought of a bird of prey like Horus, and then I was like, okay, well, and then like a week later, I actually started looking into it, and then I realized it was completely connected to that, and then I was like, well, no, it's also connected to this Crowley stuff, because Crowley, he named his deities and his religion after these deities, these Horus, and then I realized it was all connected. So that's when I made that video, and the slide in there that I made that really blew my mind was the 56 slide. Like, how I didn't realize that Eye of Horus, Aeon of Horus, all seeing eye in the sky, all equals 56 in that same cipher. And I think that just brings more light to the Society of Jesus and possibly what they really are all about.
Have you looked at the like the Thelemic calendar and how to calculate? I think it uses tarot cards and or something. Have you looked at that?
You're mute.
Like when you look at like the Thelemic, dates, it's like expressed in the form of like a tarot card and a
Yeah,
I'd have to, it's been a while since I looked at it, but yeah,
it's
and it'd be
crazy.
interesting to calculate that the dates that these things happen on
It's crazy you brought
using
that
that
up.
calendar.
It's crazy you brought that up, because I was just that's what I was just reading. I don't know if you heard earlier when I was trying to bring it up, but like the I just discovered this writing today of R. Leo Gillis, and he was somebody who supposedly dug more into the Book of the Law and found Crowley's supposedly his Kubala cipher. So I was reading this thing, and then I sent Sean the picture. I don't know, Sean, could I share my screen? I'll just show. I don't know if I can or not, but
I think you can.
Yeah, I keep that on a tab on my phone. Like it's been on there for like I have like 50 some tabs open on my phone all the time, and that's one of them. The I think the beginning, it says the beginning of the Thelema calendar, and then the way to calculate the Gregorian date, whatever. With it is interesting. It is super interesting. Would it be interesting to I know you're just starting to look into it, and like you say, you have so many things on your plate, but it'd be interesting to look at the date on their calendar that these things are happening on.
yeah, well, the only thing that I read today, like I said, I literally just discovered this like 2 hours ago. I haven't even had a really chance to read the whole book or the whole writing that I was reading. But they mentioned something about here. I'll bring it up on my screen, that way you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this is the Trigrammaton. This is all about there's actually a cipher, right? So Derek on the calculator has the Trigrammaton Kubala cipher, and it's this one. And so this is basically starting with the I, but this represents the Tao, like in the Tao Te Ching, the Tao, which is basically and I don't know if you're familiar with the Tao Te Ching, but it's basically like the thing that can't be understood. It's like the untouchable understanding. It's what I look at as God or consciousness. But so zero represents that in this cipher. And that's represented by the letter I also. But the value of I is worth 0. And what's crazy is the next two values are the yin and the yang. So the L is the 1, it represents the yin, and then the C is the 2, which represents the yang. And he writes about this in this writing. You can see it right here. It's the 0 is the Tao, the 1 is the yang, the 2 is the yin. Okay. And then if you go down more, like there's so much craziness to find here. I'm sure I need to try to understand this way more. But what I really found crazy down here, well, first of all, it talks about the number 729, which I got to look into now. But then it talks about the methodology behind the creation of such a calendar relies on a curious fact that antigrams for every whole number, there is one and only one antigram pair whose numbers differ by that number. For example, the numbers 156 and 204 are antigrams in ternary notation, or basically base 3. They are represented as 012210 and 022120. The antigram pairs differ by 48. Therefore, 204 minus 156 is 48. No other antigram pair differs by the value of 48. Therefore, this pair can be attributed to the day 48 of the year. And so
we just
on.
had the eclipse too in 4824.
I know, and that's what's even crazier. You know, that's the date that Crowley channeled Aiwass, 48. It was exactly 120 years before the Great American Eclipse. Can you still hear me, guys?
Yep.
So it was on 4/8/1904, Crowley channeled Aiwass and wrote the Book of the Law. And then at exactly 120 years later, on 4/8 this year, we had the eclipse. Well, 120 is the gematria of eclipse. And of course, it was both connected to the 48. And I'm just finding it crazy interesting that this is the number he decides to use in this writing is the 48. And he's saying that 204, the two ternary numbers that are antigrams of each other, represent the number 48. So basically what he's saying is there's no other antigram pair that can be this value of 48. Therefore, the pair can be attributed to day number 48 of the year. And so on for all the other 364 antigram pairs. What makes such a calendar thelemic is the fact that it begins with a day 0 on March 20th, the feast of the equinox of the gods. From this starting point, day number 93, which is the number of Thelema, is the solstice. So day number 93, which is all about Thelema, is the June solstice. And day number 186 on the Thelema calendar is 2 times 93, which is the September equinox. So I just find this crazy. And then he shows this, which just absolutely blows my mind. This cipher of the trigram, what I showed you here that's on Derek's calculator, the Trigrammaton Kubala, each number represents a hermetic attribute and a tarot card. So for instance, the 0 represents spirit, which is the overarching, it's basically the untouchable, the thing that's the consciousness that no one can actually grasp. And then once you get to the second one, it's the yang, which is the magician. And then it goes through all these, and it's just crazy because as you go down, you see it has the Earth, it has Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo. Wow. So in this cipher, each of these things represents a tarot card and an attribute. And I find it interesting that the last one is the moon, and it says silence, which is really interesting. It says moon represents silence and is not attributed to any letter. And so there's something way more to read about here and to understand why these things are the way they are. But it has to do with Crowley's system as well. And so, yeah, I don't know. There was this wrestler that just debuted in WWE. His birthday's 4/18. And that's obviously the number of Thelema as well, 4/18. And his name equals Book of the Law. So I started looking. This guy's like super coded into the Book of the Law. And his name is the Samoan werewolf. And of course, that's also connected to the moon. But anyway, his actual name equals the Book of the Law in like 3 out of 4 ciphers. And then he's born on 4/18, which is the number of Thelema in the Book of the Law. And he's even these ciphers, like if you type in his name, Jacob, Samuel Jacob Fatu, or Jacob Samuel Fatu. And then you just bring up the base ciphers and the Crowley Thelema ciphers. I just thought it was crazy because he equals 188 in the English Kubala, which is like one of the other Crowley ciphers. And they say that his height or his weight, or one of the two, is 188. And that's also the gematria of path of totality, which is an eclipse connection. And then what I found also interesting was in that same cipher, COVID pandemic equals 188. But yeah, there's so much more to find here with these ciphers. But I'm just now just really diving into it.
Yeah, I was just talking about that 188 yesterday with Bobby, and I don't know if you're very familiar, but all of our paper currency sums, if you take all the bills for paper currency, they add up to 188.
Right, yeah.
And then if you look at our U.S. code, 18 USC 8. It's interesting because the United States is responsible for all the debt, and the United States is a corporation. Yeah, I mean, there's if you read that, there's something to that too. But yeah, it's that 188. That's a huge thing with money and currency, and I see there's a 255 in there too.
Yeah, and this is what I was showing is if you type in. So let me just type all this in. This is crazy. Book of the Law. Oh, sorry, Liber Al Bell. So look at this. This is the name of the wrestler that just debuted, Jacob Samuel Fatu. And you can see that his name literally equals pharmaceuticals and Book of the Law. And these three things are almost super matches in both the Crowley cipher and the base ciphers. So that's in the 255. What's interesting about that is if you actually look into Crowley, where he reveals about his gematria code is in verse 255. I showed that right here. It says, in 1904, Aleister Crowley wrote out the text of the foundational worldview, the Liber Albel Legis, which equals 255. In this text, in the injunction found at verse 255, I'm hearing an echo. Is anyone else hearing it?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I hate to do this. I think I might have to get going right now. But
Okay.
this was a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys are quiet. I don't know if it's coming from.
There's something going on with the sound.
Yeah. But I was just gonna say, if you guys are still down for tomorrow, I have a lot more free time tomorrow. If you guys are good with that. They still there? I don't know where
I'm still here, but I would get that echo.
I don't know where the echo's coming from.
Can anyone else hear the echo?
I can hear it.
Yep, I can hear it. Yeah, it's echoing bad.
Is that me or is that here? I'll give the screen back. Hold on.
Oh, it sounds like it's gone. I think it's gone.
It's gone now, I think. Sean, are you still there?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, it must be Sean.
Weird.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but I'm down to join tomorrow too.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. I don't know what's going on with my audio. But yeah, I mean, you guys can also continue on maybe your channel if you want. But yeah, tomorrow I'll just make another stream if you guys want to join. That'd be great.
Yeah. If I'm not working tomorrow, I'll jump on again too. Yeah.
I mean, in fact, if you want, I might be able to just do a stream tomorrow on my channel. Even I don't know. We can talk about it more, Sean. I don't know if you want to do it on your channel or not, but
I don't know. We can do it on yours. That'd be cool.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do it on mine.
Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks for being here, guys. Again, sorry about the audio stuff, but I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right, man. Thanks so much.
Okay, later.
Nice to talk to you, Seven.
Yep, later.
See ya.